Hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our masterclass today. My name is Piritu Wanjiro. I'll be taking you through this masterclass on goal setting. Goal setting in life is a very important topic, which I've used previously, which I continue using, and I really hope that from today's masterclass, you are able to learn how to set up goals both on your lifestyle or on your personal business and career. So, a little bit about our company. Our company is called Accurex Leadership and Management Consultants Limited. We are a HR consultancy firm based here in Nairobi, Kenya. However, with an outreach across the world or the globe, where we are able to bring you masterclasses, just like the one we are about to do today. We also do HR consultancy in terms of hiring, uh, policy formulation, policy implementation, job evaluations, job analysis, benchmarking, among other things. We're also very happy to bring you a team building session to your organization. Other than that, stay tuned for this class. It should take about an hour or so. However, if when we integrate the different activities that we have planned for this particular session, it should take us about 2 hours. So stay tuned. Let's see how this goes. So for today's topic, we'll be discussing about goal setting. And as I've said, goal setting is a very important topic. A lot of us are not able or will not successfully be able to go through life without being able to set very clear goals, not only for ourselves, but for the companies or institutions we work for. And also for our personal life, goal setting becomes a very important topic. So the first question we would ask is why, so sorry for that. So initially this particular topic, we've set it up, we take it from the personal approach to the organizational goal setting. So this one will just take you step by step process of how to approach uh, goal setting from a personal perspective, then be able to translate it to the organizational goal setting. So the very first question that comes to our mind, what is a goal? A goal could be anything that we hope or dream about that is supposed to take place in future. So a goal could be anything. It could be a personal goal, could be, for example, buying a car, buying a house, getting a wife, getting a child, going back to school. That falls under personal goals. Then under a career, you could say, I have a goal to become a manager in 5 years from now. I have a goal to be promoted in my current workplace in the next 2 years. I have a goal to either change jobs, because we also have people who normally also want to change their jobs. So a goal could be anything, and it does not mean if you have one goal, for example, in your personal life, that does not also cover another goal in your private life or in your career or in your business sort of goals. So goals, you could have even 3, 4, 5 goals at the same time. It's only that they're differentiated. Like one goal is more personal, one is career, another one could be educational, another could be a health goal as well. For example, if you want to keep more fit or stay more healthy, lose a bit of weight. So goals could be anything. They could cut across any part that that you really want to work on. So, and the next question then we'll ask for this particular class is, what is goal setting? For this particular term, I would want to divide it into two parts. The first part is goal, which we've already discussed. The next part is setting. What is the meaning of setting? Setting, it means coming up with a plan, you know. So by goal setting, it means you have a goal, then you need to have a plan on how you want to achieve that goal. So ideally, on a very basic, goal setting is a very powerful process of thinking your ideal future to motivate yourself to turn your visions of the future into a reality. Because every now and then we're just dreaming or thinking or living it out in our heads, like this is what I want, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to become, this is what I want to be doing. But until you are able to involve yourself in that process of thinking, so that it no longer becomes an idea, but it actually becomes a reality for you. So, so many terms or words are involved whenever we talk about goal setting. You could hear someone saying you're making choices, maybe the right choice or the wrong choice, or you're making the choice to start working on this goal and not this other one. So there's the element of choices. The next bit of goal setting that we'll really use in this particular session is achievements. Because the moment your goal stops becoming a vision, then it becomes a reality. That ideally means you have been able to achieve something. And that also brings a sense of satisfaction, as we'll see as we proceed with this class. So achievement is another thing. The next one is direction. Goal setting gives us a sense of direction, because with goals you plan, I want in 6 months to be at this point, in another 3 months I want to be at this point, in 1 year this is what I want to have achieved. So ideally it gives you a sense of direction. Also, the process of goal setting as well, it will also identify distractions, like what are distracting you from achieving your goal. It could be time, it could be resources, it could be knowledge, it could be so many other things that distract us from achieving our goals. So by going through the entire goal setting process, then we're able to identify these distractions that are making us not be able to achieve our goals. The next part is effort. With goal setting, we really have to put a lot of effort to be able to turn our vision into a reality. And this effort could be maybe challenge you to learn new skills, maybe stay up late at night trying to figure out your business process or your business model, or even your own ideation, like what you're thinking throughout. So it will require a bit of effort. And the last bit, whenever we talk about goal setting, is focus. Because there's nothing so bad as you spend so much time thinking about something, then you don't put or you don't focus on achieving it, or not be able to focus on converting it from a vision into a reality. So let's see how this goes as we proceed. So the next one is a pre-assessment. We are sharing with you right now an assessment tool. This is a pre-assessment that will be able to measure where you are at this very moment when you talk about goal setting. This is a very important tool because you'll also identify the gaps that you'll want to start working on once we start this class of goal setting. Because I totally believe that goal setting is a skill that you'll not only use now, but also in the future. So make sure you complete the pre-assessment. It should take you about 10 minutes. And once you complete the pre-assessment, I'm showing the pre-assessment on my screen right now. Excuse me, just a second. All right. On your screen is the pre-assessment. It's made up of various parts. In total, it has 3 pages. So the first part, you have to do the self-assessment quiz. So make sure you get a piece of pen and paper. You read the questions. There are 7 questions in total. For every question, make sure you rate yourself on a scale of between 1 and 10. The 1 being the least true and 10 being the most true. So you could rate yourself at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. So once you're done with that part, we move to the second part of the assessment sheet. So this second part, it measures on how good you are at goal setting. So it's a scale of one between 1 and 5. One being not at all, two rarely. So that means you don't do it most of the times. Uh, Three sometimes. So you do it on and off. Number four, you do it very often. No, sorry. Number four, you do it often, and number five, you do it very often. So this is it's made up of a number of questions, 18 questions in total. So once you fill for every question, then at the end of the assessment, you do a tabulation or a summation. So like how many did you get under one? How many did you get under two, under three, under four, under five? So, and then after you're done filling the totals here, you do a summation of the entire sum. So you'll find maybe you get a 90 score, or you get an 80 score, 70, 65, 55, or 20, which is very unlikely. So once you figure out the total, then the last page, it has the summary or the explanation of why you've gotten what you've gotten. So for example, if you get a 50 score, it means you are in the middle range. For example, although you meet some of your goals, which may be those that are most connected to your values and long-term plans, you sometimes fall short of others. So you are in between, not doing so well and not doing very well at your goal setting. Unlike someone who has scored, for example, an 80 score that will read, congratulations, you set yourself realistic goals and you found plenty of ways to support yourself as you work towards them. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to be able to fill the assessment and also evaluate yourself, see where you fall. Then also at the very end of that assessment, there's like an explanation or groupings of, for example, question 1, 5, 6, 9, and 11 were questions that were asking you about how you prepare to set goals. Well, question 2, 10, 12, and 14 were more concerned or were more focused on how you form goals or forming goals. Question 3, 4, 7, 13, 16, 17, and 18 are motivational questions. So that challenges you, or they wanted to see how best are you at being motivated towards working on goals. Then the very last bit is question 8 and 15 were focused on more on how you achieve your goals. So take a few minutes to fill the assessment. This should be a very, very fulfilling experience because it will make you know where you are at whenever we are talking about goal setting. So take your time, fill the questions, and then we'll get back. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Thank you for coming back. I really hope that you've been able to fill the assessment. And I'll be very interested to see your feedback, just to see what you have scored in terms of the pre-assessment. Moving forward from where we left a few minutes ago. Yes. Let's move on to, let's continue with this masterclass. So the very important question, especially having come from the pre-assessment, and we already know where we stand when we talk about goal setting in terms as a person, I think by now you've identified, are you very good at it, or there's a bit of work that needs to be done, or you need to learn a whole new system of goal setting. So one important question that we ask, why do we set goals? Why set goals? Like why? Why say in 2 months I want to have done this? Why do you say in 5 years I want to have achieved this? Because 90% of successful people set goals. So that in its own sense, it will mean goal setting is very important. If 90% of people in the world actually set goals and they become successful at it, then goal setting then means it needs to be very intentional, like you have to do it without fail. Then 90% of people who feel they have failed did not set goals. So that's also very true, because if you there's a very famous quote that keeps that I see around that says, failure to plan is planning to fail. So if 90% of successful people set goals, then it also means 90% of the people that fail did not set goals. So that is the very, very reason why we set goals. Like, we want to become successful at what we do, or we want to achieve whatever we've set ourselves to do to achieve. Right. So these are some of the few reasons that I was able to prepare or come up with. And this is just to help us start the conversation on goal setting. So number one is goal setting gives us or you a long-term vision and a short-term motivation. For example, in Kenya, it's very popular for people to buy pieces of land, you know. So you say, I want to buy a piece of land, for example, in Nairobi. I want to have done this in 5 years. Then maybe the piece of land costs 10 million, for example. So in 5 years, you need to have bought a piece of land worth 10 million. What does that mean? You need to start maybe saving at least 2 million per year for the next 5 years to have achieved the 10 million mark. So you see, this long-term vision is keeping you motivated to be able to save 2 million every other year for 5 years, because you know at the end of the 5 years, I'll have a piece of land worth 10 million. That was an example. Next is goals. We set goals because they focus on development of skills, knowledge, and attitude. This one is very important, and this one is very also important to professionals or career people, because over time you need to keep updating your skills, you need to keep updating your knowledge level, you need to keep updating your attitude, or what you call attributes. Attributes are like more of like the soft skills, you know. So with time, you keep knowing, if I want to be a manager in 5 years, I'll need a bachelor's degree, or I'll need a master's degree, or I'll need a professional course done. So you see, so we set goals so that we are able to focus on our own development of skills, knowledge, and attitude. The third reason, it helps us organize time and resources. Resources could be anything. Resources could be money, resources could be energy or manpower, resources could be machinery, resources could be any kind of input. So why we set goals is to be able to know clearly in our heads, like, this is the time I will need to have achieved this. And during this particular process, these are some of the resources that you also need. Point 4 of why we set goals is the ability to measure and know when we have achieved a milestone. It's very, very important or very critical to always note what are some of the indicators that will show you that you have achieved a goal. So by writing down, for example, a goal, you'll be very sure when you achieve even one single step, you're able to know, like, I have achieved this, because it is written, it's documented. Point number 5 is take pride in our achievements. All of us are always happy and excited to even tell other people about our achievements. And we are only sure we have achieved because we had already set a goal to start with. Then the last point is develop or raise our self-confidence. Whenever we get into goal setting, it means we are aware that you're not able to do what's or we are not very clear on how to get to our goal. But the moment we start breaking it down into pieces, as I will show you as we continue with this masterclass, that for every step that you're able to achieve, then your self-confidence grows in the process, because now you become so sure, so certain that I'm able to achieve this. So moving on, okay, we have another assessment for you. It's not really an assessment, it's a template that will show you how or what we'll consider as a goal setting, a very simple goal setting template. For this masterclass, we'll discuss two templates. One is this one that you are about to discuss right about now. Then, as we continue with the masterclass, we'll discuss the next bit of the other template of goal setting that's a little bit more detailed than what I'm about to show you. So join me as I show you this simple goal setting tool that's very, very helpful. Actually, that's very, very helpful. So I really hope you are able to take your time and focus and get to learn just a bit of this or use it even for your personal life or your career or your business if you have any. So a simple goal setting worksheet. This one you put, this is very basic. So it focuses on what you're able to do even without putting too much of thought about on it. So you have to put your name there, for example. Then the goal start date, you list down when you want to start that particular goal. Then you write my goal is. So when you are writing my goal is, just make sure it's very, it's 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 very, it's something that you're able to visualize. You know, you can say my goal is to buy a car, or my goal is to go back to school for a master's degree. My goal is to build a house. My goal is whatever goal you could be having. Then there you are, this part, you have to put a tentative date of when you want that goal to complete. For example, if you want to go back to school for an undergraduate, if you want to go back to school for a bachelor's degree, then you'll say that will ideally take 4 years. So if your start date is August of 2021, your end date will be ideally September of 2025. So you just have to put it there. Then we move to the next bit. That is steps to reaching my goal. Step number one is to look for a university or look for choices of the university you want to join. Two could be apply for admission. Step three, raise funds because education is very expensive, especially in Kenya. Four, join the university or even get a hostel. Uh, you write any steps that you think will help you reach to that particular goal. Will you be doing it online or physical? Those are some of the questions you'll be asking, and then listing them down as steps to reaching your goal. Then on the other column, the column on my right, there'll be two things that will help me reach my goal. What are the two things that will help you reach a goal? One, it could be get a scholarship if you apply for one. Two could be maybe take online classes so that it doesn't affect with your day job if you have a job. So this is just very basic, but it makes you at least think about your goal from a more clearer perspective. Then the last bit here, you have to address, I will know I have achieved my goal because uh, you could say because I am passing my exams at the end of every other semester, or I'll be graduating, or my name has been put on the graduation list of year September 2025. So those are some of the indicators. So I will challenge you, take a few more minutes. You could put even 2 or 3 of the most basic goals or any goal that you have and try to work them out around this particular template. Then as you continue with the class, then we'll see why would use these and not the next template that we'll share with you, or why would you not use these and use the next template that we've shared with you. So I just take another 10 minutes or so, write different goals, different different goals that you have using that particular template. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back. We'll continue with the masterclass now. I really hope you've been able to fill the templates, the templates that you have shared with the various or different goals that we have given to you. We'll continue now with the masterclass. I'm sharing my screen. Yes. So based on the simple template, that one is very basic because you see for every goal you need 3 or 4, 5 pointers on goal setting. Let's continue. So what is this we call personal goal setting? Personal goal setting is a goal that you have set for yourself that's more personal to you. It could be anything. Maybe you want, I keep using the example of maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you want to have a wife or marry, or maybe you want to, sorry for that, maybe you want to go back to school. Those are personal goals. So let's go through this particular session. So a personal goal, you have to check what is the bigger picture. Like, what do I want to achieve? So what do I want to do with my life, say in the next 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years? So this is very personal to you because it's almost like you're asking yourself this specific question. Then then you need to break down this bigger picture into smaller targets, achievable ones. For example, if you want to build a house in Kenya, as an example, number one, you need to get a piece of land. You need to make sure the title deed is under your name. You need to talk to an architecture to draw the plans for the house for you. You need to get these plans approved by the county government. Then you need to get an engineer or a site supervisor just to make sure the construction is going on all right. So you see, we've come from building a house, but now we have these smaller goals in the process. So and these small goals, we must hit them we must be able to hit them or check, like confirm that we have achieved them, so that to be able to achieve the end result goal. So, and finally, once you have your plan, you need to start working on it. The same, using the same example of building a house. So you need, once, for example, building a house, it looks like this big, humongous role, but you break it down, then you start asking yourself, where do I want to build a house? Is it in Nairobi, for example, is it on Thika Road? Is it on Mombasa Road? Where exactly do I want? Then you identify the piece of land. You see, once you get this whole plan, there's no need for it to remain on paper. You start working on it. So areas in your life that need goal setting, this is just a summary. There are 9 of them. These are the most important areas or aspects of life that we need to focus whenever we talk about goal setting. Number 1 is health and fitness. We need to make sure we are in the best shape in terms of health or fitness possible. Number 2 is the intellectual life. That means our intelligence. We make sure we read the correct things, we read the right things at the right frequency so that we are always updated on what's happening around us or within us. And next is our emotional life. This is how we interact or be able to meet with other people and the emotional space. 3 is our character. Do we have a good character, or our character needs a bit of improvement? 3, this is spirituality. We do not want to put religion because religion is interpreted differently by different people. So we talk about spirituality. This is love and relationship, how we receive love, how we give love. That's an area that we need to develop on. Number 7 is parenting. How are we parenting? We could not even have children, but one way or another, we are parenting someone else or another person's child. The next bit is our social life. We also need to have very clear goals on what goes in and out of our social life. The next is our careers. And this one is very critical. We are in charge of where our careers go to. So very key to note that we need to take charge of our careers. Next is our financial. And finances sometimes becomes very challenging to different people depending on how they view finances. So another important area to focus on goal setting. Next is the quality of life. What kind of life are we leading? Are we happy? Are we satisfied with whatever is happening at the moment in our lives? And next is life vision. Like, where do we view our lives to be maybe in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and so on. So these are very different, but also very unique areas. And there's no one area that is more superior than the other. You can't say, I'm now focusing on my career, I'll not focus on anything else. Or you can't say, I'm now focusing on my love and relationship space in my life, and I'll neglect any other part of my life. So it's you to know when and how to strike the balance between all these spaces of your life. Then we're able to continuously become better people as we go on. So let's move on. We will have a quote here: a win anywhere is a win everywhere. So I'll just take you back here. So here we have 12 spaces, as you can see on your screen. So it means if you win at parenting, you are winning everywhere else in this smaller spaces. A win in your career would mean a win everywhere else. A win in your health, fitness, a win in your life vision is a win everywhere. So that is the very reason why we set goals. Like, even if I win in one space of my life, it means overall as a person, I'm winning in my life. So take note of that. As we continue, personal SMART goals. I don't know if you've come across these acronyms. SMART written downwards. If you see SMART, that's SMART. It's written downwards, so it's an acronym. And also on the right side of my screen, you'll see we have 5 W's and H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a H. So whenever we talk about personal SMART goals, what do we mean? For a goal to be SMART, it has to be significant or very specific. So S, you can use either significant or specific. Like, for example, the example of building a house. A house is very vague. Like, do you want a mansionette? Do you need a bungalow? Do you need a 3-bedroom? Do you need a 5-bedroom? Do you need a self-contained? Do you need a condo, a bed sitter? So it has to be very, very specific. So there I would say, I want to build a 3-bedroom house. That's specific. Then M, meaningful. What does this goal mean to you? I believe you just don't want to build a house. So it has to have a lot of meaning to you as a person. Next is action oriented. A goal has to have action points. I want to build a house, then you put the action points. I will buy the piece of land. I'll have to talk to an architect to draw the plans for me. I'll have to get approval. Those are action points. So every goal must be able to have action points, or it has to be action driven, action oriented. The R stands for rewarding. What are you going to get out of you building a house? One, it could be a sense of pride that now I own a house. Uh, Two, it could be your family will have a roof, a permanent roof over their heads. So that must be very rewarding for you. And with with goals, they give us a sense of pride. Like, you know, you have achieved. You want to talk to your friends. You want to talk to your family that this is what I've done. You want to even throw a party when you want to open that particular house. So that is R for you. Then T is trackable. Are you able to track this entire goal process? If we come to you after 5 or 3 years, we tell you, how did you build your house? You can be able to give us the entire journey. Like, I started here, this is where I went, this is whom I talked to, this is how much it costed me at this stage, this is how much it costed me, and finally, the entire house costed me 5 million. So it is something that is trackable. We move on to the other side. Whenever I discuss about SMART goals, I always talk about the 5 W's and H because they are almost used interchangeably. And interchangeably to mean the SMART part of goals, we are able to answer it by the 5 W's and H. So these are almost brothers and sisters. They help each other, or whenever if you are able to answer all these questions successfully, then you are able to have a very smart goal at the end of the process. So the 5 W's and H are, the first one is what. So what is the goal? So you can say build the house. Then you ask the when. When is in terms of time. You could say in 5 years. Then you go to who will be building the house. You could say me and my wife, or me and my husband, or me and my family, or us as a company, because it could be also a company property that maybe you want to build. Then, sorry, I think I've repeated when twice. It should be whom, where, what, why. Why, yes, why is missing. So the next, after who, it should be why. Why are you doing this? So you could say, maybe put a roof over our head, maybe build my portfolio of assets and investments. So their whys could be any reason that's why you want to build. Then there is where. Where is the location? Is it in Nairobi? Is it in Nakuru? Is it in Nanyuki? Is it outside of Kenya? So the why also plays a very important point of this goal setting process. Then the last one is how. How are you going to build your house? For example, it could be I'll take a bank loan, or I'll ask for funds, or ask my friends to contribute, my friends or families to contribute to the project. So the how is the logistic, like how is the process, like how will all this come to fruition? So I believe, yes. So we have a SMART goal template that we'll be sharing with you right about now. So this SMART goals template will just help you visualize, or even use it as an example to see exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about the SMART goals, because this is a step-by-step process that helps you just to see what we mean by SMART goals. So moving on, I'm sharing my screen on the SMART goals template. So you see on your screen right now, you'll see the SMART goals template. For example, on the left side, it has the date. So you have to put the date. You have to put the goal, like what type of goal you want to achieve. Then the type there, it could be the family goal, it could be the career goal, the personal, the spiritual, whichever you want to put. So you have to also identify the type of goal that you want to work on. Then you start asking yourselves the why, the what, the when, as we have discussed on our previous slide. So you put the why, the how, the when. Then we come to the SMART. You see there's specific, there's measurable for M, there's attainable for A, there's relative or relevance, or the reward part of the goal. then the time component. Then you have to put when it is you hope to have completed that particular goal. Then at the end here, the very last column on my right, you're able to say, what are some of the lessons I have learned from this particular goal setting process? Because there's no any one unique step or processes to every other goal. So if you do one goal, I strongly believe that there are lessons that you're going to learn at the end of it all. And these lessons will either influence your next goal that you're going to set. You'll also learn the do's and don'ts of goal setting as well in the process. You'll know what is working, what is not working as well. So it's an entire process. So embrace it as it comes. So I'll give you another maybe 10 minutes for you to be able to work on, give or take 2 or 3 goals, and be able to fill all these spaces. Then, and also lessons normally come way later in the process, once maybe the goals have been completed, or during the process of achieving those goals. That's when I anticipate that you learn the lessons. So take a few more minutes, start working on them. Then we meet back in 10 minutes and see what you have come up with. Thank you. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening once again. We come to the last bit of our session of the masterclass. I believe you've been able to successfully fill out the SMART goals template. Just keep it for your own reference, even for future goals that you'll want to do, not only for this class, but even these. I believe these are life skills that we are empowering you with. So you'll continue using them even beyond and above and beyond this particular masterclass. Feel free to also transfer the skills and the knowledge that you learn from this masterclass to your family, to your friends, so that all of us become better at it. So moving on to our class, and the last bit, I'm sharing my screen right about now. Let's talk about tips to setting your goals, because these tips are just like what I have learned in the process of goal setting, and also what other people have learned in their own journeys of goal setting. So these are just guidelines, they're tips. So they could work for you, they could not work for you, but I really hope that they work for you. So number one is, or the heading that we are running with at this point is guidelines to help you set effective, achievable goals. Number one is set each goal as a positive statement. I'll give you an example. For a health and fitness goal, you could say, there are 2 ways you could say it. One, you could say, I want to lose weight. And the other one, you could say, I want to keep fit. Or you could also say, I want to be healthy. Of the 3, which is more positive than the other? I think of the 3, the one that is positive, very positive, is I want to be healthy. So in the process, whether you lose weight or you don't lose weight, your goal should be being healthy, followed by I want to keep fit. Maybe fitness means different things to different people. But the least of those statements is I want to lose weight. For example, you tell yourself, I want to lose 10 kgs in 3 months. And in 3 months, you've only lost 1 kg, or even you've not lost any in the process. I think that would be a very discouraging process altogether. Unlike when you set a goal as I want to be healthy. So whether you lose weight or you don't lose weight in the process, your goal was to be healthy. So state each goal as a positive statement. The next one is to be precise, be specific, be straight to the point, be a straight shooter. This is what I exactly want. Then the number 3 is set priorities. You could have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goals. What I would encourage you is to come up with a priority list. Say, of the 10 goals, these are my top 3. You put number 1, number 2, number 3. Then you start working on them based on the priority. Priorities could be different. Your priority could be maybe finances, your priority could be your career, your priority could be your family. They keep changing from one person to the other. So what's of importance to you, then that should be the priority that you start working on. Fourth point is write down your goals. Make sure every goal that you have in this life, you note it down, because you could be thinking about it, by once you note it down, I feel that's the very first step of actualizing that very goal, other than just having it in your head. Number 5 is keep operational goals small. What do you mean? For example, I'll still continue using the example of building a house. That is a very big goal. And as we've seen from previously from this particular session, building a house will involve a lot of things, buying the piece of land, identifying where you want to buy that piece of land, getting permits, getting an architect to draw the plans for you. So my advice will be, as much as you have this big goal, keep it operational. Like, this is what I need to be operating on, either on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly, weekly, yearly basis, other than just remain with one big, vague goal. Then set performance goals and not outcome goals. I'll give you the very first example that I used on weight loss. So you see, once you say, I want to lose 10 kgs, that's an outcome. Like, you've already anticipated what you want at the end of that process. Well, a performance goal is I want to be healthy. So you see, health and losing 10 kgs, they're still the same goal actually. But you see, once you put an outcome and you're not able to achieve that very particular outcome, the probability or the chances will get very discouraged are very high. So for me, I would work with a performance goal. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit, other than putting a fixed goal that I want to lose 10 kgs. Then set realistic goals. Our realities are different. What could be possible for me, it could be so difficult for someone else, or what could be so difficult for someone else could be so easy for me. So set goals according to your own reality. So everything that you do, just set it with whatever you are able to achieve within your own means. If you can't achieve it, look for another goal that you are able to achieve, because goals, they have that element of motivation. Goals motivate us. So when they become very unrealistic, they act opposite of what goals should be doing to us. They'll be discouraging us in the process. So set very realistic goals. Moving forward, achieving goals, the success bit. How does achieving goals look like whenever we talk about success? So if a goal was easily achieved, set the next goal to be a bit harder. So if you feel like this one was too easy, this one was too, it came out so fast, set your next goal, let it be a little bit harder so that it can also challenge you. The next point, if a goal took a discreting length of time to achieve, your next goal make it easier. So for example, if the goals that you're currently working on, they're stressing you, they're taking so much long time to achieve, give yourself a break on the next goal that you want to achieve. Let it be easy, let it be a little bit flexible, let it be more friendly to you. The next point is, if you learn something that will lead you to change the goal still outstanding, do so. I'll give you an example. once you start working on a particular goal, then midway you realize, actually, this goal is not what I had expected it to be. You have the liberty to change in between the process. You don't need to work until the end of it when you clearly know it's not going to serve you any purpose, or you are not going to be happy with the results. So give yourself the liberty, and also take the learning lessons positively, because I believe the next time you set another goal, you'll be starting from experience. You'll not be starting from a blank, or from a wild point of view. So if things are not going on well just within the goal process, feel free to change the goal process depending on what you have learned during that particular process. The last bit is, if while achieving your goal, you notice a deficit in your skills, set goals to fix this. This is very common for career goals. You could have the goal to become a manager in, for example, 5 years, only to realize that at year 3, for you to become a manager, you need an MBA. So you see, you becoming a manager is pegged on you having an MBA. So you see, you'll have to set another mini goal, and this mini goal will be to get an MBA or graduate with an MBA by within 2 years, so that you are able to achieve your manager career goal in 5 years. So, and this is very common also in other major goals. You set a big goal, only midway you realize, I need to set another goal so that I'm able to achieve my main goal. So that is the success bit of achieving goals. And you'll see that they keep changing from one person or the other, but with time you get to learn, you get to get the gist of goal setting process. So the process becomes very easy as we go on. Let's look next on the failures of goal setting. I know many of us fear failure, and I think failure acts as the best teacher. However, or whichever way you want to look at it, failure is out there to help us. So where you have failed to reach a goal, ensure you learn the lessons from failure. So so it doesn't matter whether you achieve or you don't achieve a goal. The most important bit is to learn the lessons that came with that particular failure or success as well. So these are some of the questions you can ask yourself. Did I try hard enough? Did I give it my best? Did I give it all that I could to achieve this goal? The other question you could ask yourself, were my techniques or skills or knowledge faulty and need to be enhanced? Like, did I really know what I was doing? Or do I need to learn something? Do I need to take a particular course? Do I need to talk to someone? Could be a mentor, could be a coach, so that next time when I'm getting back to my goal, I'm up to speed, or I'm capable in terms of skills and experience and expertise to handle that particular goal. The next bit was the goal I had set and realistic. On our previous slide, sorry for that. On our previous slide, we talked about realistic and unrealistic goals. So depending on our reality, was that goal realistic for us? Or were we setting a goal for someone else? I find this very common, but also very surprising at the same time, that we set goals for other people, for ourselves. Because you saw your friend doing this, you also want to do the same thing. Not knowing or acknowledging that we are two different people, we have two different capabilities, we have two different capacities as well. So this is a very critical question that you need to keep asking yourself. Did the goal that I set for myself realistic for me, or was it realistic for someone else? Then the next point will be, use this information to adjust your goal. Once you have answered all these 3 questions, readjust your goal. Set it afresh if need be, or adjust the areas or the parts that you have noticed then they were not what you intended them to be. Then it becomes a positive learning experience. So just readjust it, start working on it again, then it becomes very realistic for you. So lastly is trying something, even if it does not work, often open doors that would otherwise have remained closed. And I repeat this quote again: failure to plan is planning to fail. So by planning and failing in the process, you'll discover either new skills that you did not know that you have. You'll discover passion that maybe you did not think you had. You'll discover aspects of your life that you did not think that you have. So with goal setting or with goal setting, it's a continuous learning process. So don't stop setting goals because some goals failed in the process, or you started a business and it failed, or you were eyeing for a manager's position and it did not come through. That should just act to you as an encouragement to try the next big thing that is coming on your way. Lastly, let's look at some of the mistakes that we make whenever we talk about goal setting. Number one is setting a realistic goals. This one I've already discussed. Two is focusing on too few areas. As I've said, or on our earlier slides, you saw our lives are made up of almost 12 different components. So it is our work to make sure that we have a goal, at least a goal in each segment of our lives. Because failing to having too fewer goals, then that one becomes very problematic, that you're not so sure where you'll move from there. Next is underestimating completion time. Maybe a goal ideally will take 5 years and you want to achieve it in 2 years. The completion time might also disappoint you in the process, because by year 2, you realize you're not even halfway to achieving your goal. The fourth one is not appreciating failure. You have said, once you fail, take it as a learning lesson. Like that's a lesson you've been given for free by life, that this is not what was supposed to happen, but it has happened. You learn from it, then you get back to goal setting. Number 5 is setting other people's goals. That one I've also discussed. A lot of us get caught up in our friends' goals, our family goals, like what our family expects us to be doing. So we are really caught up in other people's goals other than focusing on our own goals. Our number 6 is not reviewing progress. With goal setting, you need also to put checkpoints. Like I'll be checking this goal every week, or I'll be checking this goal every month, or I'll be checking this goal every quarter, that is after every 3 months, or I'll be checking this goal after every 6 months, half yearly, or I'll be checking this goal every year, especially for the long-term goals, like the 10-year goal. It will become very unrealistic for you to review it daily. But you can say at the end of every year, I'll be checking how much progress I've made towards my 10-year goal. Number 7 is setting negative goals. This one I've already discussed about it. Whenever we set goals, let us always set them in the positive perspective. The last one is setting too many goals. Don't have 100 goals. They might be even almost impossible to track them. Just have enough, between 5 and 10 goals. Just have enough. And these 5 or 10 goals, spread them out to short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. So however you want to look at it, just spread them out and don't have too many, don't have too few in the process. So we come to the end of our masterclass today, and I will end it with a quote from John Maxwell. And it says, if you're not making any mistakes, it's a sure sign that you're playing it too safe. So let us appreciate mistakes. Let us appreciate failures, especially whenever we talk about goal setting. And let us keep learning from these mistakes. Let's keep learning from these failures. Let's continue drawing up goals, regardless of how they look to us. because our goals, I believe, is what keeps us alive. So I wish you a very successful goal setting process. I'm very interested to pick the conversations around goal setting with you. If you have any challenges putting up the templates or filling up the templates that you have shared with you, feel free to drop me a call or feel free to drop me a call. My contacts or our contacts are on the screen. You can drop me an email at info@accurex.co.ke, or you can give me a call on 0715 767676 or 0784989898. Make sure you follow us on social media just to see what other classes that we are planning for you in the coming weeks. We'll be very happy to engage you further. So thank you very much. We hope to see you in our next class. In our next class, we'll be discussing writing a business plan, what all that involves, and how it's able to help you in this journey of personal development. So thank you very much. Let's see you soon. God bless you all. Good evening. I have been your trainer for today. My name is Purity Wanjiro, also acting on the capacity of the director of Accurex Leadership and Management Consultants Limited. So thank you very much. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all those who tuned in today. So see you in our next class. Thank you. Bye-bye.